learning a new language has been one of the most challenging processes in people's lives. In fact, it is very difficult. But why? Because it implies the development of several skills different from the mother tongue, like the knowledge of new grammar structures, like syntax, lexicon, phonetics, semantics, and others that requires careful attention and analysis. It is like reborn because you will have to know or learn how to read with the correct rhythm, intonation, and comprehension, how to write with the correct grammar, rules, and structures, how to listen what people is talking with critical listening, and how to speak correctly with the best tone of voice, intonation, and the most important, pronunciation. A suitable pronunciation is a relevant aspect to take into account when you are learning a foreign language because it will help you to understand or for a better understanding of your speech. However, it is not false that requires a lot of time and a lot of work to sound or try to sound as a native speaker or at least properly. That's why teachers create different activities to improve this aspect, classrooms or with autonomous work at home. The importance of pronunciation nowadays it is being taken seriously, and that's why today we will presenting you our own pronunciation strategy according to our needs and requirements.
We are using this strategy as an alternative way to improve our pronunciation in order to have a better performance. It is known by everybody that we all want to have greater results in our process. For this reason, we propose these objectives: enhance pronunciation, practice, increase lexicon, improve skills, use critical self-evaluation, and imitate native speakers. Enhance pronunciation. We want to have a better achievement when we are trying to communicate our ideas. So, for this reason, we have to practice and practice and practice a lot. And sometimes when we are reading, we don't know some words, so we have to look for the meaning and later we are going to know a new word. And improve our skills. We can improve our listening, speaking, and reading. Use critical self-evaluation. When we are listening to our recordings, we can notice our mispronunciation and imitate native speakers. We want to sound as a native speaker as possible, and sometimes we have some preferences. So we just choose an accent and we try to imitate the accent.
To explain the goal of this strategy and to explain exactly how the process is going to go, we're going to describe a bit step by step what we aim to achieve with each and every step of the process. So the first process is the listening. The student is only going to be exposed to the audiobook and they're going to listen to it only once, and it's going to be an audiobook of some sort of engaging and dynamic story in which they will have around 300 to 500 words. Now the reason for this listening is to give them a context before they dive into the actual pronunciation. 2, it'll be the reading. Now in this step there will not be a listening test, it will just be a reading aloud and recording. The purpose of this is to actually get the prior knowledge of the students and let them use the context they were just exposed to during the listening. And after they're done reading aloud, the same text or the same audiobook or the same fragment of the audiobook that they've just heard, what they will do is they will analyze critically what their own flaws were. 3, what we're going to do is provide to the student a more structured element. And now the divergence that we're seeking compared to the actual reading of the text and the phonetic reading of the text is that the student will be able to guide themselves by the actual standard pronunciation of the accents that the student is aiming for. And fourth stage, what we're going to do is ask the student to listen again to the audiobook, but this time as they listen to it, they're going to be reading the text again, following along, reading aloud, and imitating the accent that they're consciously and instantly listening to. As they do this, we're also going to record it once again so that we can have a second batch of self-evaluation. Now with all the context and all the elements and all the procedures that we've done from listening, from reading the text, and from reading the phonetic transcription, including the self-evaluations, we're going to notice some progress on the final stage. And this part is where we have the final production. Alright, Tatiana, the first activity that we're going to do is we're going to listen to the audio track. Once you listen to the audio track, we're going to ask you to read it, and then we're going to ask you to record.
Listen carefully to the audio of the Puss in Boots. Task 1.
Puss in Boots by Charles Perrault. A miller left all of his possessions, a mill, a donkey, and a cat, to his 3 sons. It did not take long to divide the property. No attorney was called in, since the fees would have eaten up the little patrimony. The eldest son received the mill, the second son the donkey, and the youngest received only the cat. The youngest son was very sad at receiving so little. "My brothers," he said, "will be able to earn an honest living with the mill or the donkey. But when I have eaten my cat and made a scarf of his fur, I will die of hunger." The cat had heard this speech, although he had not appeared to do so, and said to him with a calm and serious air,
In boat, a miller left all of his possessions, a mule, a donkey, and a cat, to their 3 sons. It didn't take long to divide the property. No attorney was called in, since the thieves would have eaten up their little patrimony. The eldest son received the mule, the second son the donkey, and the youngest received only the cat. The youngest son was very sad at receiving so little. "My brothers," he said, "will be able to learn an honest living with the mule or the donkey, but when I have eaten my cat and made a scarf of his fur." In both, a miller left all of his possessions, a mule, a donkey, and a cat, to their 3 sons. It didn't take long to divide the property. No attorney was called in, since the thieves would have eaten up the little patrimony. Patrimony, yes. In both, a miller left all of his possessions, a mule, a donkey, and a cat, to their 3 sons.
It did not take
It
long to
didn't
divide the
take
property.
long to divide the property. No attorney
was
was
called
called in,
since the fees would have
since
eaten up the
the
little patrimony.
thieves would have eaten up their little patrimony. The Amir left all of his possessions, a mule, a donkey, and a cat, to their 3 sons. It didn't take long to divide the property. No attorney was called in, since the thieves would have eaten up their little patrimony.
Tiana, how did you feel in the activity?
Well, at the beginning I was so excited, nervous, because I have no idea what to say or what I'm going to read. But then I felt as a productive person because I was improving my pronunciation in order to practice. So that was my feeling.
Okay, did you enjoy the activity?
Yes, I love, because I was doing something for me, for my pronunciation as a college student, you know.
Okay, was the audio enjoyable?
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I
And-
understand everything what I heard.
Oh, nice. And do you think it is so useful for our students?
Of course, practice will always be useful for the development, for all development as a English, future English teacher and as a student, of course, I think.
Thank you. It is an activity that can be enjoyed by the students because we try to use dynamic and fun audiobooks to keep the student engaged. We notice a progress in the pronunciation of several words, and we noted that the students try to use many resources to get to the meaning of the word. It is also an activity that can be used by the professor to increase items in their repertoire. So, we achieved the objectives, the word, enhance the pronunciation by practicing, because meanwhile we were practicing, we increased our pronunciation. We increased our lexicon because they were words that we didn't know. For example, attorney, miller, meal, pools, and others. We are improving our skills meanwhile we are doing these kind of activities because we listen. So meanwhile we're listening, we challenge ourselves to get to understand everything that we are listening to. We have to speak or we have to read aloud meanwhile we're reading. So this is a good strategy to increase our pronunciation and to speak faster, little by little. So we examine ourselves by the recordings because this is an important strategy to know in which aspects of the pronunciation we are having problems. And well, the purpose is like to imitate native speakers to some more natural, to get to the standard English and to have a better intelligibility by others. Thank you.